Hello and welcome to Spirit of Life. I'm Mirella Rich. Our guest today is Katrina Haller, who works for Pregnancy Assistance Frankston, where they help young women who are pregnant, having difficulties whether to keep the baby or not to keep the baby, and they're there to support them and encourage them and help them to keep the baby, and they do it in such an amazing, wonderful way and supportive way. And we'll also be discussing Mary's messages from Medjugorje today and some beautiful gospel verses, if we get a chance to fill it all in. Welcome to the program, Katrina.
Thank you, Mirella.
And it's lovely. Would you like, just before we read Mary's message, would you like to tell us a little bit about the work that you do for Pregnancy Assistance Frankston?
Well, we see girls who come into us, we offer them a free pregnancy test, and then we offer them counselling. So we give them space and time to think about this new life within them. We try to be positive in asking them, is there anything this little baby might bring to their life? We think every baby brings their own joy to the life. So we see the children as a gift from God. And so we just love these women. And if they've got any problems, we try to help them in any way that we can.
That's so supportive, and a lot of the people that are helping have even taken the girls into their own home because the girls haven't been able to tell their parents in another country perhaps, or parents here even.
Yes, they're scared to tell their parents, so we can tell their parents for them, and we wait until the parents have cooled down a bit before the girl goes home. We can offer them places in our home to stay while they're pregnant. Any problem that they can have a lot of visa issues, problems with the Department of Families, Fairness and Housing. We have a lot of social capital, so between all of the volunteers we have connections with a lot of other organisations, and we can draw on all our resources to help these women.
That's beautiful. I remember Yvonne, one of the visionaries from Medjugorje, was saying that the biggest silent war is abortion on this earth. Yes,
it's so sad. We say peace begins in the womb, and abortion is violent, destructive. We see these children as gifts from God. And so we just want to counter that so that there's no reason that a woman would have to make that decision.
That's right. And if they can't, if they're too young or for whatever reason they can't feel that they can keep the baby, they can still give life to the baby and someone else can look after the baby who really wants a baby.
That's right, yes. We have been involved in adoptions, and that's a very happy thing.
And then if they want to see the baby 4 times a year or so, they visit the baby 4 times a year. That's another option they've got.
They can with open adoption. They can see their baby beautiful? 4 times a year.
So there's always a way out. We have to remember that it's not tunnel vision. With anything in life, there's always a way out if you speak to people. It's all about communication and finding out what's really out there, and asking as well for guidance and being positive in your own mind to draw that positive advice and energy to you.
Yes, initially it can be a shock to these women. It can be unplanned, but we say with every unplanned pregnancy we want to bring unplanned joy.
Wow.
So they're in a state of shock. We want to give them the space and the time to think in their heart of hearts what they would really like. They would really like to have their baby, but we just have to deal with all these external pressures on them.
That's right, and then in the end it's just you and your baby and your husband if he's in the picture, and there's this beautiful baby who is joy, who's absolute joy and brings so much joy to people's lives.
Yeah, they always bring their own joy.
Exactly, and just got to focus on that, focus on the positive. And as a society, I think we all need to focus on the positive, because the more positive we are, the more positive we draw to us. What you visualise, what you think about, you bring about.
Yes. How you think is who you are.
Exactly.
And we might have to be very creative in some circumstances.
Yeah, exactly. And just sort of try and just think, well, what's the positive way? There's a negative and there's a positive to everything. It's kind of science. But, if we stay in the positive, we have a choice. As humanity, we have a choice to live in the light or to live in darkness. Each person on earth has that choice.
Yes.
And it's up to us.
We don't want these girls to be pressured into making a quick decision, which might meet the needs of the parents or the boyfriend or the boss or something else. We want them to respect themselves, respect their biology, respect their sexuality, the baby in their womb, to think about their connection with their baby and not be rushed into a decision that they may well regret afterwards.
And how amazing it is that they can even carry a baby. Like, it's a wonderful absolutely miraculous thing, and to give yourself that appreciation, you know, which sometimes lacks for poor women, for us poor women. We need to really appreciate ourselves and what we're capable of.
Yes.
And hold it in the light, because it is a wonderful thing.
That's
no matter
right.
what the rest of the world may be saying.
That's right. The woman can make a baby and then they can ask, what's your superpower?
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Yeah. Okay, so we'll start with Mary's message from Medjugorje. This one came out on November the 25th, 2023. Our Lady said to everyone on earth, "Dear children, may this time be interwoven with prayer for peace and good deeds, so that the joy of the expectation of the King of Peace may be felt in your hearts, families, and in the world, which does not have hope. Thank you for having responded to my call." So Our Lady, you know, I guess there are people in the world that don't have hope, but there are a lot of people that do have hope now. Like, people are starting to become more awake, more positive, more understanding that what we think about, we bring about. Just, it's changing. I feel like the earth is changing for a more positive world for us, earth for us.
Oh, that is wonderful. Yes. Well, we try to give these women hope, hope for a future, and that they will prosper, they will enjoy the baby, they'll get so much love from the baby. So we try to ask them, can they imagine their life with the baby? How would their life look like? Maybe in 4 years' time, how will their life look like with a kindergarten?
Yes, yeah.
Little one, how will their life look like? We'd really like to say in 20 years' time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if they can imagine what their life will be like in a year's time with, say, a 4-month-old baby.
Yeah, and just waking up every morning to see this little gorgeous baby. I remember when our baby was born, my husband could not stop taking photos of it. He couldn't even go to work. He just was just photo. Then you better go to work. And he couldn't take his eyes off her. And we were with her all day, obviously with her all day. And then when she was sleeping, we'd be watching all the pictures we took of her. And I'm thinking, we haven't left her at all, ever.
They bring so much joy into the world, don't they?
So you don't know what you're in for, you know.
And we say the world will make room for a baby.
Absolutely.
And that people will come to welcome the baby.
That's
it. They might have extended family who initially are shocked or upset, but they'll come around to welcome the baby when the baby's born.
We have to go to a break now. You're watching Spirit of Life. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very shortly. Hello and welcome back to Spirit of Life. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just joined us, we're here with Katrina Haller, who is from Pregnancy Assistance Frankston, where they help young women who are pregnant to help them with the support that they need to have their babies. Welcome back to the program.
Thanks, Mirella.
And can you tell us a little bit about how you got involved in Pregnancy Assistance Frankston?
Oh, well, when I was married and pregnant with my third child, my husband felt negative about that. And so I can understand how these girls can feel alone and unsupported. I was very fortunate because I had wonderful family support. But at Pregnancy Assistance Frankston, we are the grandmothers and the aunts that these women don't have. So, you know, we treat them like our granddaughter or our niece.
Yeah, that's beautiful. But how did you get involved in it? Like, what was it how did you find out about Pregnancy Assistance Frankston?
Oh, I was a lawyer in Frankston and I used to do paternity disputes and child support and family law.
Yeah.
So we used to cross-refer to each other. Some of our girls would come to the legal centre on a referral from Pregnancy Assistance Frankston. Then I went to meet them and thought they were all wonderful women. They're just fantastic. There's just a very positive vibe about the place.
And it's hard if the women don't have the support from the partner, the spouse, you know, to have the baby, because then they feel isolated and alone, because this is kind of like something that they built together. This is something they did build together. And then to be just, I'm sorry, I'm not interested in having a baby anymore.
Well, that's devastating, yes. They've got the loss of the relationship. as well.
As
So
well
they're
to deal
going
with.
through a grieving process. So we are the community, we're the village that will support these mothers and encourage them and offer them whatever help they need to continue with the pregnancy.
Yeah, it's a pity that it's not held in a more positive light to these people. Do any of them, the men, the husbands or spouses or boyfriends, whatever, turn around in the end?
Some of them will come around
Yeah.
in the end, and see the
Gosh.
baby. So that's a joyful occurrence.
Yeah. So in your situation, you ended up having to do it on your own with your mum and dad helping you, did you?
Yes, I was a single mother for 20 years or so.
Wow.
But every child brings their own joy, and we want an unplanned pregnancy to result in unplanned joy.
That's so beautiful. It's a good expression too, because it is that,
Yeah.
exactly that. And I'll just read Mary's message again so we can talk a little bit about what she's saying here. May this time be interwoven with prayer for peace and good deeds, so that the joy of the expectation of the King of Peace may be felt in your hearts, families, and in the world, which does not have hope. So in this situation where these ladies here that are helping these girls, you're doing good deeds. Like you're actually taking a lot of sometimes you're taking them in your own house as well, because everyone else has rejected them.
Yes.
And you as a lawyer have even done it.
Yes.
So, you know how even the legal system and how you can help them.
Yes, we can help them navigate through the legal system.
Wow.
And we want to help them in any way that they need assistance.
That's so beautiful.
It's a lovely work because it's very happy and positive, and the girls are so thrilled when they have their babies. They bring their babies back and show us.
Oh, that's so nice.
So we share
and
that
have you
joy.
got any experiences as well? There were some experiences you were telling us off camera about someone who wasn't going to have the baby.
Well, yes, we often never know what happens. One volunteer was saying she spoke to a younger sister who was brought in by her older sister. The pregnancy test was positive. The younger sister was very quiet, but the older sister was adamant that abortion was the only way to go. And so while the volunteer was talking to this younger sister, the volunteers in the office put down everything and they were just praying for this girl and praying for the volunteer. And, after a pretty long interview, the volunteer said goodbye to them and felt sad and disappointed that she hadn't felt that she won them over. And she just prayed, go with the grace of God. Then about a year later, she was walking through the food court and saw the older and younger sister and pushing a pram with the baby in it.
Aww.
So they stopped and chatted. So
that's so beautiful. So she decided to have the baby in the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even though we didn't know,
Isn't that wonderful? So you don't know how you affect other people as well. And I guess they must feel so relieved when they're so insecure about what's going on, and they find this lovely supportive network, which is called Pregnancy Assistance Frankston, to help them. And are there many other places like this?
There are all around Australia. There's Pregnancy Help Australia, which is an umbrella group for all the pregnancy help organisations. So there's one in Caroline Springs, Caroline Chisholm Society. There's a new one in Bundoora. There's one setting up in Ballarat. Yeah, so they're all over the place. So we're on Instagram and Facebook and the internet.
So all they need to do is look up, say, Pregnancy Assistance Frankston on Facebook, Instagram. Yeah,
they'll find us.
And they'll find you. Oh, beautiful. That's lovely. Now, I might read another little bit of Mary's message. This was October the 25th. Our Lady said, "Dear children, winds of evil, hatred and peacelessness are blowing through the earth to destroy lives. That is why the Most High sent me to you, to lead you towards the way of peace and unity with God and people. You little children are my extended hands. Pray, fast, and offer sacrifices for peace, the treasure for which every heart yearns. Thank you for having responded to my call." So it's all about being in the right brain, all the positive, the peace, the prayer, the good deeds. What are your thoughts on that message?
Yes, peace begins in the womb.
Yes.
So we want to give these women hope that with some strength and courage and assistance from us, they can go through the pregnancy with joy and happiness and love the new life within them.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And talk to the baby, because the baby hears everything that's going on around you as well.
Yes, music.
And
they
feels
know your voice.
Everything. Yeah.
Yes, it's just miraculous.
It is. It's amazing. We're so lucky. We have to go to a break now. You're watching Spirit of Life. I hope you're enjoying the program. We'll be back very shortly.
Love, love, until I feel the breath of the Spirit flowing in me.
Hello and welcome back to Spirit of Life. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just joined us, we're here with Katrina Haller, who is a retired lawyer who now works for Pregnancy Assistance Frankston, helping young women who are pregnant and don't know where to turn. Welcome back to the program.
Thanks, Mirella.
It's lovely having you on the program. I thought I might start with a beautiful verse to give everyone a bit of courage. It's Joshua 1:9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. And if we tap into that and really let that sink in, we won't have fear.
No, we don't want to be fearful.
Yeah.
We want to be strong and courageous.
Yeah.
We want to plan something positive. We want to put supports in place. We want a good outcome.
Yeah, and what are some of your favourite gospel verses?
I like the Proverbs verse, which says, rescue those being led away to death. So we see ourselves as saving the baby, but also saving the woman.
Yes.
You know, she might have very low self-esteem, and an abortion will only decrease her self-esteem even further. So we help both the mother and the baby. We say there's no problem that is big enough that would make you destroy the life of your baby.
Yeah, and for them, they must feel like you're a bunch of angels for them, really. That's just so beautiful to be that supportive.
Yes, we are delighted when they bring their babies back to show us.
Yeah.
That's very exciting.
Because you know you had a part in it, you know, in helping this life.
Yes, and they've overcome obstacles, and by doing that they have become strong and courageous. So it's been a growing experience for them too, very positive.
And in every area of our lives, you know, we need to be courageous. We need to have that perfect love casts out fear, you know, that we can do things with God, you know, God is within us. Jesus lives in our hearts, and if we become aware of that even in the peace of our hearts, in the quietness, it's not always in the noise, you can't see it, but when you just go within quietly and just meditate within you and just think, well, Jesus really is in me. What does he want?
Yeah, that's the most repeated phrase in the Bible. Do not be afraid.
Yeah.
Don't have that spirit of fear.
That's it. Because you can't hear anything, you can't receive anything when you're in fear.
No.
And also don't think negative things. I remember once I got involved in this kind of Christian group and the focus was so much on suffering, bringing you joy. And I'm like, all I was thinking was I need to suffer more. I need to bring more suffering to me. Like I just think, got to be careful who you mix with, who you speak with, and just know that God is love and God is positivity. All things good.
And that inspires us, that faith and that hope and that love. And that gives us the energy to do what we're doing.
Exactly. And you see it like a beautiful thread of goodness coming through, don't you?
Yes. So every child is a gift from God. So we just want to encourage these mothers to love their babies, to feel that bond.
And I don't know if that's encouraged enough on this earth at the moment that we live in, that we really need to really give that worth back to the mothers and back to the children.
Yes, celebrate motherhood.
Exactly. Here. All right, so the next beautiful one is Matthew 17:20. He said to them, because of your faith, for truly I say to you, if you have faith like a grain of mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you. Wow, I love that.
Yes, so faith gives you great direction and energy.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
And to be open, I guess. You can't see it if you're closed-minded. Like if you're negative or depressed inside you can't always see the positive. So you've got to try and shift away from that and just look in a different avenue and then see. And then things will start happening.
Yes, if we think of the good and noble things.
Exactly.
The right things.
Because we can either be on the dark side of life or the positive side of life. Everyone on earth has that choice.
Yes.
And the dark side of life just leads to misery and more misery and bad things. There's nothing good there. So go on the positive side of life.
It does, because we also do post-abortion counselling.
Oh.
So we see these girls just crying. They're so depressed. And there is a place they can go. Rachel's Vineyard has
Yeah.
weekend retreats for these girls.
Yeah.
So we can fund them to do that.
Oh, that's good. That's good that you've got some support there. Yeah, see, that shows you the other side of the coin.
Well, yes, they
Yeah.
can get involved in alcohol and drugs, but a lot of depression and anxiety.
Yeah, it's so
So-
sad. Oh, we'll hold them in our hearts, and we'll pray that everyone starts to give life a chance.
Yes.
Choose life, as someone said in a singer.
That says in the Bible too, choose life.
Yeah,
That you and your
exactly.
descendants may have life.
That's
Yes.
it. We just have to make that choice of life in everything, in what we eat too. Choose fresh fruits and vegetables, living food, healthy things. Choose life, choose fresh air, choose nature.
Yes, in every decision that we make, there can be lots of variables, but if we think about what decision will most honour God,
Exactly.
what decision will most honour God's gifts to us.
Yeah. And the temple, our body is a temple of God's as well. And how do we treat it, you know? We're treating it with love and care, doing the best we can.
Yes, we can accept God's gift,
Exactly.
not give it back to Him unopened, unappreciated.
Exactly. Beautiful. Have you got another favourite gospel reading that sort of stands out to you in your life?
Well, I like Matthew 15:40. Whatever you do to the least of my brothers, that you do to me.
Yes.
So when we see these women, we see Jesus or Jesus' brother. Whatever we are doing, we want to love these people. We want to love their babies. We want to love all the people around them. So we want to do everything that we can to give this woman a very positive pregnancy.
That's beautiful. And that's a beautiful example for other people, because if each person on this earth just makes it a point now just to love an extra 5%, even 5%.
Yes.
100% would be great, but an extra 5%, if everybody on earth just takes on a little bit more extra love, there'll be no suicides. There'll be no people giving up, because there'll be that person smiling at them or that person giving them a little bit of hope. Because if everyone does it, we literally raise the vibration of the entire earth.
Yes, it can be something very simple, like a positive word,
Beautiful.
a little bit of help. And
Thank you so much for coming on the program.
thank you,
We have to
Mirella.
go now. We'll see you again next week. Will you come on again?
Thank you, Mirella.
Beautiful. You've been watching Spirit of Life. I hope you enjoyed the program. Our guest was Katrina Haller, and I'm Mirella Rich, and I hope you enjoyed the program. And remember that Jesus loves you and is living in you, shining bright. Remember to love everyone else and love yourself. Bye for now.
Bring